Hey, how's it going? I'm here to talk about Chapter 2, Paper, Writing of the Body. I'm not gonna lie, I have a little note card. Just to help me keep track of my thoughts and make sure I keep the direction flowing. But anyway, what uh, Spry seems to be discussing here with writing the body is that it's sitting there and taking what the body does and putting it to a set of words. Sounds simple enough. But, however, one thing that I'm going to start with a quote right off the bat on page 93. Let me pull that up real fast here. It states, in her tattoo intro, it states, autoethnographic texts reveal the fractures, sutures, and seams of the text's generation of self interacting with others in the context of researching lived experience. So basically, in short, that is sitting there saying that it's kind of the betwixt and between, not liminality, but kind of what's happening behind the scenes, if you want to think about it that way. It's kind of a behind the scenes type of look. And another quote that I want to start out with is on, I believe, page 100. Helps define it a little bit better, in my opinion. My book's going all over the place here. Words on page 100. Words represents body, how bodies move, react, interact. Words represent how bodies perform in everyday lives. To make writing perform, to make, and I'm going to skip a couple lines here, a couple of words. To make writing perform, to make writing represent the complexity of the body's critical expression of interacting within the frames of social norms and expectations, and then write the body's transformation of these norms. So, in short, the words are just a way to represent what's going on. More specifically, how you can, take there and how it relates, how it makes you feel, and how it all just coexists together, what your body's going through, and how that experience affects communally, socially, how you can sit there and derive all these other thoughts from that. And then she proceeds to talk about how, it's not always going to be comfortable because you obviously are taking yourself and putting yourself out there. And I could say from an actor standpoint, it's very hard to wrap my head around because, it's just, I do struggle with that personally, with personal performances like that. And it just sits there and puts you out there and sits there and makes you very vulnerable, and it results in, body accountability, which he also discusses, how, pick your words wisely, how you choose to word things, how, each thing carries a socio-political weight to it. She also says it's not going to be comfortable because, like she said, you're going to be putting yourself out there. It's you may not disagree. People may not view it or interpret it the way you intended. It's definitely a possibility. And one other quote on page 101 that we have here is that she wants you to address whenever you're doing it. She says that you should probably address certain questions like what's gets between the body, these words and the bodies between the words in our everyday lives. Why do we use these words? What do we get from it? So she tells you to really engage these questions. I just really like those questions because those are very much so, what you should be asking whenever you're doing autoethnography. And she also proceeds to say how, that autoethnography writing it should be consequential, evocative, co-perform. Basically, sitting there, you should have it should provide an effect. It should, grab the audience's attention, really give them, insight to what's going on. Like really put them in that position with you. And it should also sit there and have, some sort of underlying meaning, not like directly, it should be like blasted out. Otherwise, it throws off the balance. And speaking of balance, I was going to talk about the balance between epistemic versus aesthetic, because epistemic itself is, the knowledge, the core of it, while the aesthetic is, how you present it, how it's performed. And the thing is, if you have too much oversaturation of either or, if it has too much epistemic, it can become extremely boring. It can drag on. It can sound like, that you're not getting to the point. Aesthetically, if it's over watered down, people think like only remember the parts that were like super funny or really exaggerated, rather than what you really wanted them to hold on to. And last but not least, I'll end this here with another quote on 109. Oh, 107. My apologies. I messed it up. Language is inherently political. Choosing language to critically reflect is a political and moral process. So that's basically what I was saying about the language and cultural stuff there. Just got to be very careful what you choose to say. I mean, overall, that's feel like how the body is can be written in the paper. The questions that I really had was, like, how far does one really have to go to sit there and express certain things? Or words you have to go in like extreme detail or minute details, and what does and should we like really focus on, whenever it comes to writing, should we focus more on the emotional, consequential stuff, or should it be, like, how would be best word the balance between epistemic and aesthetic? Other than that, I have nothing else to add, and if any feedback would be fantastic.